Good morning. So I'm having a bit of a late start today. It's almost 11 and I'm just now getting ready. I did not sleep well last night. I woke up at 11:30 and just could not go back to sleep. But I have some very exciting news and we are actually moving this month. Um, Today in a few hours we're actually going to go get the keys to our new place and then start slowly moving in the next 2 weeks. I had wanted to move at some point this year, but I kind of expected it to be later in like spring or summer. But we just started looking in December to see what was available and actually found something a couple weeks ago that we really liked. We went and saw it, and it was really clean, really nice neighborhood. The facilities seemed really up to date, and we decided to go for it. So the whole process is going by pretty fast, but we're both really excited. We've been in our current spot about 10 years, and it just feels like we've been ready to move for a while now. I know I've mentioned this a few times, but this space is just too big for the two of us. When we originally moved in, it was because one of our siblings was moving with us, and we needed the extra space to kind of give that person their own living area and then us our own. Um, but that was 10 years ago, and since then we've had different people that have rented out that room, and it just um, it's time for a change. I don't want to live with anyone else besides our immediate family, my husband and our dog, and that's it. And so we decided that it's just too much for us and we are ready for a new start. um, but yeah, so later today, like I said, we're going to go pick up keys. I have a couple errands to run. I have to get Charlotte her vaccine and um, licensing with the county up to date. And then I think we're going to have a picnic at the new place tonight. So I want to get a few things for that. So I'm going to take you along our moving journey. And yeah, it's just going to be hopefully a low key move. Normally, moving gives me a lot of anxiety. I talked about this on a recent Substack. I will link that article down below if you're interested in reading it. But I feel like this year, because I did such a good job last year of purging all of our extra stuff, that I'm actually really ready to move. Um, and I don't have as much anxiety. I have had a few moments where I've been in a panic that, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're doing this. But overall, I felt really good, really excited. Um, I think it's a good size for us and a good location, and so it's just I'm really happy. The plan is get the keys today, and then over the next week we're gonna take a couple loads every single day of like the little stuff. I I don't want to get a ton of boxes and have to deal with boxes, so we're just gonna use the empty totes that we had from my decluttering earlier this year, and we're just gonna fill a carload of totes, dump them at the new place, come back and get more. And then once we move the furniture next Friday, a week from today, then we'll be moved in and then we'll organize things. And I think that'll be fine. Like, it'll be messy for a little bit, but because we don't have as much stuff as we have in the past, I don't think it'll take long to put everything away. So that's the plan. I already got the first load in the car already, and so we just have to go get our keys, probably do a walkthrough, and then we can start unloading. And then I think we're gonna have dinner there tonight, like I mentioned. Hopefully it'll go pretty smoothly. I think it will, because we're not in a huge hurry, and I'm not stressing about anything. So anyways, thank you for coming along this journey, and I'm excited to take you with us as we move into our new home. So this is what our house currently looks like. I've taken out all the decorations of the living room because that is what we are going to bring over in tonight's load. And then the furniture we will take over next Friday, like I mentioned. And then, yeah, photos are gone. I just have a couple pictures still up, but it's looking pretty bare. We sold this cabinet. We have been selling a lot of our furniture the last couple weeks that we know we're not going to take because it's not going to fit. But this part of the house, I don't really show you, but was our guest bedroom. We got rid of the bed and the extra nightstand and desk that was in here. And then In this room, we got rid of the extra sofa and we had a TV stand there and a couple bookcases. And then basically the only big furniture piece we still have to sell is this dining table set. It just doesn't fit our style anymore, and it's pretty heavy, and I don't want to be carrying it up the stairs to our new place. But yeah, so that's how it's going in here. It does give me a little anxiety seeing all the stuff pulled on the floor, but it really isn't that bad. So I'm not stressing over it too much. But yeah, so that's the current state of our house at the moment. Okay, we're off. You're looking all the way. So yesterday's home adventure did not go as planned. We got to the apartment and were signing the last paperwork. We were doing the last walkthrough before we got the keys officially, and my husband noticed that there was some kind of significant amount of dry rot on one of the balconies, and he asked them about it, whether it could be replaced or whether they would send someone to come look at it to make sure it's not structural and then replace it later. And they kind of got defensive and said that they can't promise anything because they're just the management team and that has to come from the owner, which I totally get, but they weren't really hearing our concerns, and they were kept saying like we would never put someone in an apartment. But anyways, we couldn't reach an agreement, so we actually went home and are waiting for them to get a hold of the owner and ask them about that before we make a final decision or like even get to move in. So that was Friday night, and we have to wait till Tuesday. Next Friday was the day we were planning on renting a U-Haul and moving, and we've already given our 30 days lease for, or we've already given our 30 days notice for our current place, so we are in a time crunch, and it just kind of sets us back time-wise of what I wanted to get moved over. We didn't get to have our fun picnic or start unpacking at all. Now, instead, we are looking at alternative places that have availability immediately in case they don't agree to send someone out or replace anything. So yeah, we have kind of started from scratch almost, and we looked at one place this morning. It was location-wise, it was in a better location because there were better walking trails and a quiet neighborhood to walk through and better like um, community facilities like their pool, and they had a basketball court. So they had more to offer, but as far as the actual layout, I like the original one better. And I really could feel us living there. But the other thing I noticed while my husband was talking to the management about the dry rot is the neighbor next door kept drilling something, and it was pretty loud and pretty consistent. And I don't know, I know living in apartments you're going to have noise no matter what, but I don't want to live near that all the time. I'm hoping it was just like an occasional project, but you never know. So anyways, today we are looking at other places, and it's kind of an exhausting I don't know. I'm afraid that now none of the places are going to feel perfect, and I'm going to feel disappointed no matter what we decide. So um it is what it is. We both want to feel comfortable where we're living. We both want to feel safe. And we both want to be in a good location. So maybe our original plan isn't going to work out as far as the first apartment that we were going to sign. The other option is that we could ask our landlords to stay longer and retract our 30-day notice, but I really don't want to do that. Not even as like a last resort, because I really don't like them. They kind of upset me um, when I was asking them what we might owe and what our terms were as far as moving out early. They're always really snippy. They would not accommodate my preferred communication style, which is through email. They kept trying to call me, and I kept saying, I don't want to call on the phone. Please email me. For me, not only do I really hate phone calls with anyone, dealing with sensitive information as far as like exact dollar amounts and contracts, I want it in writing. Um, so that I can refer back to it. I also get super confused on the phone writing things down. I write things down wrong all the time, and I don't want that to happen. So I kept asking them to please email me, and they they told me they were bewildered by my response. And so I was just like, I'm done with you people. I just want to be out of here. So whatever we decide to do, we have to decide within like the next week or so that we still have time to move by our deadline, which puts some pressure on. And I didn't want to be in this position where we were rushing, but um, it is what it is. Hopefully, we'll both find something we like and agree on, and we'll go from there. I'll keep you guys updated, but as of right now, I have no idea what is happening. Um, but I am currently waiting for a friend. We're going to go get some coffee, and I'm going to put all this moving business aside and kind of carry on with the weekend as usual now. Since we're not moving loads over, I'm just going to do laundry and start. I need to go to Home Depot and get some supplies to fix up our current place before we move out. There's a couple things I need to fix, and then we'll just see. Everything might be on hold until at least Tuesday when we get an answer from the landlord. So, um, yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, but that's how everything's going right now. Okay, so I have some good news and I have some bad news. Bad news is that we decided to back out of the first apartment we found that we really, really liked. We didn't even wait for the landlords to get back to us regarding the dry rot issue. We just decided that, it just didn't feel right. The whole experience from when we got there just didn't have the positive energy that we had been feeling up until then, and we just both felt that it might not be the best idea for us to move into that spot. So the good news is that we found an even better spot. Um, Last I checked in with you, we were looking at a few apartments last weekend, and the second one we visited, we actually really liked. It was in a neighborhood that had really great walking ability. There's a marsh right behind the apartments with a full path around it. Um, it came with a washer and dryer in the unit, which the first one didn't have. This one was ground level and was single story, so no stairs for Charlotte. In the original one, it did have stairs up to the apartment and in the apartment, and that was a big compromise. Um, that was a big compromise for us because we really don't want Charlotte hurting her joints or accidentally falling down the stairs since she's older, and that part was like making us nervous. Um, Plus, the way the whole interaction went on Friday, it just didn't sit well with us. So we emailed them at the beginning of this week and just said, um, we're gonna back out. So it's now Friday, and they actually still haven't gotten back to us about um, what the owner said about the dry rot, getting that replaced, or getting our original deposit back. So we'll see. We're both just kind of over it. It didn't feel right at the end, and so we're happy to move on. But yeah, this new place that we found, um, I'm actually really happy about. It's an apartment complex that two of our friends have lived in the past, and I like the layout. It's a simple layout, um, and yeah, just location and amenities and um, accessibility for Charlotte are all better. So we put in an application last weekend on Friday. We should be hearing back, if not tonight, then Monday morning, first thing, hopefully. And then the we will move in the week we will move in mid-February. So it's a little bit later than what we had planned, but it's not that far along. I did have to email our current landlords and tell them we needed an extension by a week or two for our 30-day notice. So that's taken care of. No issues there. But yeah, so it didn't work out the way we originally planned. I know we were super excited, but I think that excitement was we were overlooking some of the negatives that that apartment had. Um, this one, the one we currently found, feels more realistic. It's, like I said, in a better neighborhood. The first one, there were walking paths, but you had to cross a really busy 4-lane street to get to them, and that would have been really dangerous, especially this time of year when the it's not so bright. But where we're currently hoping to get into, you can just step outside the apartment and go on a really nice walk in several directions. There's 2 different parks. There's a great little path around this marsh area that we discovered, and we've actually been driving there a couple times a week. We've actually driven there a couple times this week just to get Charlotte used to it, and we've been exploring the neighborhood, and it's really nice. We could actually see ourselves buying a house in that neighborhood eventually. Um, and it's by a park that we visit all the time. So I think it'll work out. I don't have my hopes up after what happened the first time around, but I think we're moving in a really good direction. Everything's pointing to that this is going to be a good experience. So um, I'm going to end this vlog here. Hopefully, when I update you next, we will be moved in, but that won't be for a couple weeks. So we'll just see. In the meantime, we are just continuing packing and getting rid of stuff. We are selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace and donating, and yeah, just trying to get rid of the last of our stuff that we don't want to take with us, and then hopefully we will get settled within the next 2.5 weeks or so into the new place. So fingers crossed. Please send positive vibes because I think we might need it.